Hey guys, it's me, Viper again here, and today I want to talk a little bit about when to go face, when to trade, what are basics behind. This is the most simple, most basic, most common decision you have to make, right? Do I trade the minion? Do I go face? When do I do what, right? So the super easy, simple thing is, well, what's the goal of the game? Reduce your opponent's health from 30 to 0. Now we're looking for the most efficient way to do that. I think one of the first very basic common misconceptions is just going face all the time is gonna accomplish that the easiest way. And you're gonna start realize, well, but my opponent has these minions and he cleared my minions and I attacked face with my weapon, my spells, and his minions just keep attacking me and I'm losing. But I was the one that aimed everything face. Why am I not the guy that's fasting, reducing the health to 0, right? Well, that's the first very, very simple thing is minions have infinite damage. A minion can attack every single turn. So every single turn a minion survives, it deals damage. It does something. And let's say the spell, it deals damage once. So the spell deals damage once, the minion deals damage every single turn. You probably want to use your spells to clear the minions most of the time. Alright, so that's super easy example. The opponent has Blazing Battle Mage played on turn 1, and then it's your turn, and you can play Chaos Strike, for example, to attack the Battle Mage or attack your opponent's face. Right, you want to attack the Battle Mage because the Battle Mage would attack you the next turn, and the turn after that, and the turn after that, and so on and so on and so on. So you want to remove your opponent's minions because they threaten to kill you very, very quickly if they're not answered. Now that this is the super basic thing. Let's get a bit more advanced and interesting about this now though. Right, so one of the things people a lot of the times gonna say is always value trade. It's this AVT. It's kind of been a meme at the beginning of Hearthstone. It kind of still is a meme a little bit, right? But it's something to teach, especially new players, obviously. So let's say my opponent has a battle. Let's say you start the game, you play a Blazing Battle Mage. Then it's your opponent's turn, he plays Battlefiend Pass. And he has a 1-2 and you have a 2-2. So if these two minions fight, your minion survives and has 1 HP left. Opponent's minion is dead. That's an attack you should make. You should not be attacking your opponent's face, because his minion... it's if both minions attack face every single turn, well, you're gonna win that fight if it's just a 1-2. We don't take Battlefiend as a card here because of the upside. Let's say it's this card. Just a random 1-2 minion. So if they both go face all the time, you take 1 damage, your opponent takes 2 damage every turn. But if you attack a minion once, you both take 0 damage. And the next turn your opponent takes 2. And then he takes another 2, and another 2, and another 2. And you never take damage. Because the minion is dead. So, over the course of 1 turn, it is not this +1 health, right? This 1 attack guy goes face, 2 attack guy goes face. You gain 1 health advantage, kind of. But you gain 1 health advantage every single turn. If you trade the minion once, you gain a 2 health advantage every single turn. Because your minion survives and can attack, and your opponent's minion is gone. So that's kind of the concept, why do you take this trade? Because long term, it's just better for you. Long term, you gain more health advantage making these kind of trades. Another example of when you should be trading for a reason. Let's say you have a Glaiveborn Adept. It's 6-4. That's gonna be a common thing. You're gonna have this card in play. It's a very meta relevant card. And you also have a Blazing Battle Mage again. A 2-2. Now your opponent has the Satyr Overseer. Again, very meta relevant card. You're gonna see these cards a lot. Your opponent has this in play. And now you have the choice. Do you go face with this and this? Or do you trade? Well, now obviously our 6-4 is a lot stronger than the opponent's 4-2, so we should send the 6-4 face. That's pretty easy, right? But now we have this interesting question of, well, the Battle Mage could attack face, then my opponent takes 8 damage instead of 6. 8 is greater than 6, right? But, well, it can also attack this minion. Now, for the reason we already had, we should make the trade because our minion is smaller, our opponent's minion is bigger. That's a good trade for us to make. But the trade also protects our minion. So it like directly protects it because it has 4 attack. So it's obvious that we make the trade, right? We kill the bigger minion and we protect our big minion. Now, what if our opponent had another battle mage? Do we still make the trade? Do we go face? Well, this can vary. Sometimes it's right to go face, sometimes it's right to trade. But the easy thing to do is just like trade, try to protect your big minion. Because if your big minion can attack again, it attacks again for 6. That's a lot. You kind of just want to protect these big minions, these aggressive stat line minions, more attack than health, so they can keep attacking face. And now you can like summarize all of this, what I just said, to essentially, in every kind of game, your goal is to reduce your opponent's health to 0 before your health drops to 0. So you can kind of figure out, well, what's the fastest and most efficient way of doing that? And your minions attack every turn. So your goal should probably be you maintain your minions and you remove your opponent's minions by either using your minions or using weapons and spells. Because again, a minion just attacks every turn, deals stacking up damage. It deals damage every single turn. Now the weapon deals damage 2 times because you can attack 2 times and it's gone. If the weapon kills 2 minions and you protected your 2 minions just attack your opponent over and over and over again. You're gonna win. So at the beginning of the game, there's obviously like always the reason to trade, always play for board, always protect your stuff. At some point later in the game, you're probably gonna have these decisions. Well, my opponent's life total is very low. Maybe I should prioritize just going face, and I shouldn't be trading anything anymore because I have enough damage to kill him, right? You have a burst damage option. This deals 4 damage. You can set your opponent to 4 health, and then you're like, well, next turn I can play this. Then he's at 0. That seems pretty good. You should kind of go for that. But that's something you're gonna learn over the time and playing. And especially for the beginning, kind of just try to keep this trading. Try to protect your minions. Try to stay ahead on board. Fight for board control. And when the game is over, and probably especially games you lose rather than games you win, you can look for, well, my opponent was at 5 health in the end. Should I've... maybe last turn I could have just attacked face with everything? Would I maybe won then? Or the turn before that I could have already started going face? Right, and that's like where you learn. Because you kind of easily see where you made maybe the mistake. You can just rewind the game 1 or 2 turns, and you see, well, if I would have attacked face there with the minion, it would have just been that. And you traded the minion, then he played a spell, killed your minion, and then you were missing the damage because you set up your minion to survive a turn, to attack again, but then your opponent had something that interrupted that. He had a spell or a rush or a charge minion, anything, right? It just interrupted your game plan of your minion surviving, and then you didn't have the damage of the minion anymore. Whereas if the minion would just attack face, you could have utilized your high health total and be like, yeah, I go face. What do you do now? In the long run, in the very, very long run, you're gonna do more damage. But there's no long run. The game just ends next turn, or 2 turns in the future. And that's just what your learning curve in the game kinda is. It's what you should try to aim for, honestly.